the first major airstrike in West Bank since the beginning of this war between Israel and Hamas. Israel struck a compound beneath Al-Ansar Mosque in the West Bank. The Israeli military said that the mosque contained a terror cell of Hamas and Islamic Jihad terror operatives who were organizing an imminent terror attack. Palestinian medics have said at least one person was killed in the airstrike. Israel also continues to conduct airstrikes on Gaza. At least 4,100 Palestinians have reportedly been killed in Israel's counter-offensive, and this is as per Gaza's health ministry. Israel has vowed to achieve victory, and that means completely annihilating and eradicating Hamas. And let's get you the latest from Ground Zero. Joining us live here on India Today is Shiv Arur and Gaurav Sawant, both joining us from different locations of Tel Aviv. Shiv, I'll start with you. Countries like the United States have asked Israel to delay their invasion. But it's clear with this latest development of the West Bank mosque being hit that Israel is sending across a message that we're not going to hold back in our fight against Hamas.
The thing is, each new day is bringing a new calculus to this entire unfolding conflict in Israel and Palestine. Now, it's been over 15 days, well over 2 weeks since the October 7th attack. The running theme throughout this time has been, when is the ground operation going to begin? When is the invasion of Gaza going to take place? That hasn't happened yet. But the airstrike in the West Bank, the first airstrike so far in this cycle of the conflict in the Jenin refugee camp under the Al-Ansar Mosque, has once again escalated the possibility and brought the focus back on that ground operation. Over the last 3 to 4 days, the focus had shifted from whether that ground operation is going to happen to whether Israel can fight a war on 2 or 3 fronts. And that 3-front battle has become official as of early this morning. The Hezbollah crossfire is already taking place on the northern border between Israel and Lebanon. What's happening in Gaza is taking place. There was a rocket that landed outside the Ben Gurion airport in Tel Aviv just minutes after I landed yesterday in Israel's capital. And as of early this morning, there's been that strike in the West Bank, the first around this time. So things are not looking good as far as a de-escalation is concerned. Israel's stand is very clear. They're saying, what do you want us to de-escalate about? This is about hunting and decimating the Hamas. So there can be no de-escalation at this point of time. That ground operation will happen. Countries like India have, advised restraint. The US has advised restraint a number of times because of the possibility of a humanitarian disaster. But that ground operation, in my view, may not happen in the way that we understand it. It'll happen in phases, but it definitely is going to happen.
Okay, Shiv, just stay with me. Let me also bring in Gaurav. Gaurav, you were the first Indian journalist to actually go into Palestine. You reported from West Bank earlier. And now with this mosque attack, how do things change? We know there was already considerable tension in West Bank when you were reporting from there.
The bombing of the Al-Ansar Mosque, the imminent threat that Israel cites even at the West Bank, marks the opening of the second front within Israel. And this is something that Israel was extremely apprehensive about, but was expected. India Today was reporting from the West Bank after Friday prayers where a large number of youth had come out in the open to protest against the Israeli airstrikes at the Gaza Strip, men, women and children. But while those protests could be handled, Israel's biggest apprehension was the presence of Hamas terrorists even in the West Bank. So the Al-Ansar Mosque, there was very specific intelligence that Israeli intelligence agencies were able to gather about explosives, bombs and terrorists being brought there to carry out a strike against Israel. So while Israeli forces were concentrating on the Gaza Strip in the south of the country, in the heart of the country, between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, as you go towards the West Bank, there was an apprehension that situation could escalate. And this is where Israeli forces have mounted multiple intelligence-based operations. When we were in Ramallah, we were speaking to several Palestinians who said that, the forces came in numbers and arrested people. Our information is more than 70 suspected Hamas fighters were taken into custody in the past 4 days. Over 700 have been taken into custody since the 7th of October. So this marks the opening of the second front within Israel, or the apprehension of the opening of the second front within Israel. So preemptive strikes have been carried out by Israel here. Overall, so one front is the Gaza Strip, the second front could well be the West Bank, and the third front is the Lebanon border. So Israel is now actually geared up and fighting on 3 fronts.